AEW Fyter Fest was last night. A solid 4-hour show. I stayed up for the entire thing. I'm gonna let you know my thoughts on the show, but the main point of this video is to talk about the huge announcement that was made last night by Tony Khan, and it actually lines up with the prediction that I had made on this channel over a month ago. Let's get into it on Screw the Script. Last night's show, a solid Fyter Fest. You had everything. You had the debut of Tekla. Here's a photo right here. She submitted Lady Frost, continued to attack her afterwards, so it looks like she's going to be presented as a heel right away to join AEW. It was a solid performance by her last night. She picks up the win. It was under 10 minutes. It wasn't a very long match, but, you know, most debut matches aren't that long anyways, so I give that a pass. Her presentation was flawless. Her entrance music, amazing. I'm glad that she kept the heavy metal sort of entrance. The lighting, everything, the whole entire entrance was great. And it really just made me stop and think before the match even started. Not even in relation to her specifically, but just an overarching theme that is so common in AEW, and that's the fact that they put so much more time and energy and effort into their entrances for each individual wrestler. You can pluck anyone from the roster, and more likely than not, they have a tailored entrance song made specifically for them that fits them and their character, which I've made a point time and time again over in the other huge promotion in WWE. The vast majority of their talent, it all sounds like generic rock band music. It all sounds the same. It all bleeds together. I keep bringing it up because AEW keeps bringing in new wrestlers in 2025 and the tail end of 2024. I think we've seen 5 or 6 new wrestlers join, and guess what? Each and every single one of them has a recognizable, solid entrance song. The big thing that happened last night was the Fatal 4-Way match for Kenny Omega's title. Kenny Omega did come out on top. It was a solid performance by each individual. You saw Claudio in the match, you saw Brody King in the match, and you saw from CMLL, Mascara. Good match. I think it went about 15 minutes long. AEW does really good triple threat and fatal 4-way matches, so I knew I was going to like this match, and in fact, it was my favorite match of the entire evening. The big thing that I want to talk about before I cover quickly the rest of Fyter Fest, the main chunk of this video, we got what I predicted about a month ago on this channel. It looks like they are going to unify both Omega and Okada's title at All In, because right here, Tony Khan's big announcement last night was that it's going to be a winner-take-all match at All In between Kenny Omega and Okada, and next week on Summer Blockbuster, we are going to see a contract signing for said match. Now, the crowd didn't really react to it, and I feel like the main reason is it wasn't presented as well as it could have been. On my end, I knew this was coming, so for me, I was excited for the match, but I wasn't, like blown away, like, oh my God, what an announcement, because I speculated this for the last month, and it happened. I just feel like Tony Khan, when he does these announcements, like, unless it's huge, like groundbreaking huge, and just out of left field like that actually genuinely shocks people, then you get a reaction. I'm sure it's not just me, and I'm not calling myself a brainiac by any means. I'm not the only one that kind of suspected this. I'm not claiming that. It was more so just a thought that I shared with, I'm sure, plenty of other people out there watching this even, that were like, it would be interesting to have their match at All In unify the titles. It's a thought that I'm sure has crossed many people's minds, including myself. The announcement just wasn't done as well as it could have been, but nonetheless, I'm extremely excited for this match. If anyone has never seen the matches that those two have put on together in New Japan, do yourself a good deed and service and go and watch any of those matches because they are all incredible. Okada, Omega at All In. Is it going to main event? If anything, I feel like it should co-main event. I wouldn't be shocked if it was the opening match at All In. Those are the only options. I don't think it'll be a match that's going to be in the middle of the card. It's either going to open with an incredible match or it's going to main event over the title match. But I just don't feel like that makes sense. With the build, the long story build with Hangman now challenging Moxley at All In, that has to be the main event. So if anything, I feel like Okada Omega will be the co-main event. Maybe they have, like a cool down match in between the matches. Or you just bookend it with two incredible title matches. You start off the show hot with Omega and Okada, winner take all. You let me know what you think about that match. And All In coming up. We saw Mark Briscoe versus Jon Moxley last night. Pretty solid match, better than I was expecting. I thought Moxley was just going to, wipe the floor with Briscoe, beat him in only 5 minutes. It was a pretty competitive match. He still ended up winning. He submitted Mark Briscoe. Briscoe actually never tapped out. He just passed out. The FTR match, was okay. Nothing to write home about. The promo afterwards as well, just, showing that they are continuing their heel arc. I'm pretty lukewarm on this. I kind of feel the same way that I feel about Becky Lynch over on Raw and WWE, how I just feel like the fans don't want to boo her. I feel like this was just the wrong time to turn FTR heels. I really feel like the fans don't really want to boo them. And I also don't think that they need a manager by any means. Stokely adds nothing to FTR for me. That entire segment, anything that involves him would have been completely the same had he not been there. And those tracksuits that he wears are honestly an eyesore sometimes. The women's tag match was actually my second favorite match of the night. I love Toni Storm, and she teamed up with Mina against Sky Blue and homegrown for me, Julia Hart. Really good tag female match. We saw Tony and Mina pick up the win. The presentation that Julia Hart and Sky Blue have together, it works so well in unison that maybe if they're going to expand more women on TV like we've been seeing these last few months or so now, they've really put more spotlight on the women's division. I am a little suspicious and curious if we're going to see AEW women's tag titles. Again, their roster is ever growing, adding Tekla. Julia Hart, like I said, and Sky Blue work so well together that I can see them being a really good pairing to make a run as maybe even inaugural women's tag champs. Let me know down below if you think AEW should have a women's tag division, or do you think it's just not quite there yet? Commander, Kevin Knight, and Speedball picked up a win last night. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they won. Long night. I kind of want Kevin Knight to break out on his own. I've mentioned on this channel previously that I think that him and Speedball together, they're a really good tag team together, but I just think he is capable of so much more than that. I hope it doesn't last much longer in 2025 and he does end up breaking out maybe into a mid-card title run or an attempt at a run for maybe, let's say, the TNT title, which I'll get into in a moment here, actually. I just want to see more Kevin Knight in singles action. Tag action is fine. He's athletic no matter what style or whatever form he's competing in. But I think he truly shines as a singles competitor. We saw the Hurt Syndicate and MJF come out, cut a classic heel promo, and then they were challenged next week on Summer Blockbuster. So we'll see a match with them next week. Other small things happened. The only thing I didn't like about Fyter Fest was the match that they had close out the show. Wasn't really huge in on that. We saw Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita compete last night, though, and I love the Don Callis family. They are on every single show weekly now. And I truly think that this is like peak faction for AEW since the Inner Circle days. Because of how dominant the Don Callis family has been, they feel more like a threat than the Death Riders do, personally. Just because I think that you got a breakout star in Fletcher. Takesha is extremely talented. And then you got other guys like the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, who needs to pick up some more wins, I feel like. But I digress. He is still very talented. The entire faction, the only ones that kind of feel like maybe don't need to be in it, is the newer additions in Trent and Rocky Romero. Take it or leave it with them. I like that Lance Archer is a part of the group because we get to see him more on TV, and he's a big guy that I've liked for a while, back when he was just called the Murder Hawk in New Japan. The Murder Hawk monster is okay. I get that they had to change it a little bit, but just calling him straight up Murder Hawk was a lot better. And he had a really good match against Jon Moxley in New Japan a handful of years back. If you've never seen that, I recommend it. Because I feel like Tony Khan just hasn't fully let Lance Archer be the Lance Archer that was in New Japan. And maybe his day will come while he's in the Don Callis family. So that's my coverage on Fyter Fest. I know there was other things that went on, but that's just kind of the bulk that I wanted to talk about. Now I'm going to get on to some AEW news. What, in my mind, at least my opinion, is some pretty big news and breaking news for AEW this past week. Wardlow. We haven't heard or even seen Wardlow in months. He is known to have suffered a labrum injury back in 2024, so it's been a while since we've even seen him on television, or Max if you stream. He is actually fully recovered, and here's a little description there for you to look at. They're just waiting to bring him back into the spotlight, waiting for the right time. It sounds and looks like that he has some sort of deal going on where he's going to be in maybe like a TV show or a movie or something, that he's doing prior obligations before he comes back. Do we see him return at All In? I don't think it'll happen there. If anything, I think he returns at All Out in September. But that is some news on Wardlow. He was my favorite big man in AEW before yet again getting injured. That's really just been his Achilles heel, is the fact that he really has had some bad bouts of injuries, back to back. And he lost a lot of steam. Will he be able to recover all of that? Hopefully he does when he comes back. Next, we have another little snippet here that I want to show up here. It's kind of funny. Someone says, lately, Fed fans are asking questions about AEW and wanting to watch it. Should we gatekeep this promotion or let them in? I don't know why it says letting them in. I think I posted in my last video about somebody that was wanting to catch up on AEW because they're really just not liking where WWE is heading, and you know what? I don't blame you. Tony Khan's response to this was hilarious, though. Down below he says, "Please gatekeep nothing, sir. Please welcome these people to AEW with arms wide open." Having the most Creed response ever. It's a funny little meme I threw together. Yeah, that's the right approach, though, by Tony Khan. He may have had kind of a drop of the ball last night on a special announcement, but showing that he doesn't want to have fans attack and go against fans of the other big promotion in WWE, it's a good look for him. I really think over the last 2 years, Tony Khan has matured. He's truly taken a step back. He's not involved as much on TV as much as he used to be anyway. Really toned it down on social media and everything. And I think that's a huge boost for AEW's image. And I really do think that it's adding into why 2025 has been so successful for them. That's all I had on this episode of Screw the Script. You let me know down below what your favorite match was of Fyter Fest last night. Are you looking forward to another 4-hour blockbuster show next week for Summer Blockbuster? 7 to 11 p.m. Central Time for me. It was kind of hard. That's the only big knock that I think I have for the show last night was that it was really late by the time that it ended. I'm pretty tired today, but nonetheless, solid show, and I'm looking forward to Summer Blockbuster next week. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script Pro Wrestling. Thanks for watching.